the moral rectitude to be able to actually make that demand. So I think, it will take the coming together of the citizens and the leadership to actually work together to bring about that Nigeria that your guest with you guys is saying there, that it will ultimately have to start with a coming together of the vision and of the will that drives the citizens, the followers, and the leaders to say, yes, enough is enough. We need to bring about some changes, fundamental changes to move this country forward.
Okay, let me ask Mrs. Benit here. He said something here about the laws. Yes, the laws are there. We've talked about it several times, how there's practically a law for everything in this country. Practically a law for everything, even to the picking up of a cup. Whichever way you want to look at it, there's one rule, one regulation guiding or guarding everything. But he said activating the laws is one of the things, one of the problems, or testing the laws in the daily living, in our daily routine of living. That's one of the biggest things. Is it out of fear or lack of knowledge of these laws, or fear of the actual working of the law, or the fact that there is nobody to enforce these laws or interpret them?
Speaking as a Christian, before man arrived at the scene, God created many operational systems. He created sustainability of the system. Every day God does not wake up to create a new plant. The plant has been empowered and engineered to become multiplied by itself. And so when you have laws, you don't also have standards, there is a conflict. A legal framework, for example, recently we were supposed to present a paper about policing and state policing, the advantages and disadvantages, what is required. And I stumbled into the international standard for policing. I said, international standard for policing, what's that all about? That countries subscribe to and all that. And I found out that even the fact that the number of police per person in a nation that by 2050 will be the third largest nation in the world, its policing already has issues. For example, when I see all this suspension, what's the new word? Inconclusive. Is that within even police force or within the security force, the issue of forensic is still lacking. Then you're talking about the judges, the number of courts per Nigeria is still minimum. I mean, it's too small. I mean, it's abysmal. Take, for example, we have a saying that justice delayed is justice denied. Oh, we all know that. Yet the very legal system today that we're shouting, maybe computerization here, technology here, how many of them know how to apply it even as courts? So here you are, like we're saying back door that even ICT, just like mathematics and English, has to become compulsory. Because if the world is entering a digital age, most of us as parents, you want to get some complex thing, you call your child, come, help me press something here. Meaning that even as a people, by the time we're talking technology, why I am not so much hampering on that fact, it is required, because India has done it. We need to also be able to understand that we need to take it to the villages where we need to have all sorts of algorithms and capacity for that thing to either speak to the people in their native language and tell them where to put their finger. Because illiteracy, you also have a high level of illiteracy. You have a high level of poverty. There are a lot of variables that you have within your foundation that does not give you the capacity to have the election or the nation of your dream. The first foundation of nation building is this legal framework, where everybody is subjected to that one law. And when the law is partial, where the blindfold has rays of holes, so you can see that this is Juliet and this is Ifeoma, so I can decide. That thing, we have not gotten there yet. So as much as we cry woof for INEC to move forward, the base for the moving forward of INEC is also critical. And that's where the House, the Federal House, the senators, and every of these men become the critical player. In short, this next House and the one that is about to exist, they need to wake up and move some things fast for Nigerians, because they determine so much beyond the presidency. So all of us are inclusive. Like he said, the followership. The problem with followership all over the world, whether you like it or not, I think somebody was saying one that maybe we need a benevolent dictatorship.
Yeah.
Something about followership is that when the people have been oppressed over the years and you have not consistently created stakeholdership for them as a people, the tendency is that you lose followership, so you're just running as a leader forward. So we need to take a break and know that when I was in school, we did civic studies. In one of our basic training, we do the role of civic in nation building. So you need to have those things back as compulsory right from nursery school. Where to put the trash, how to communicate, the basic things that as a citizen of Nigeria. But guess what? No matter how much you put in all these places, what makes a nation people buy in is there must be stakeholdership. Nigeria has the opportunity to say, okay, every Nigerian in the next 5 to 15 to 20 years should own a house. Your framework now of your fiscal and monetary policy must now have a shift. Do you see the variables that have to change? So if I say, Nyota, all of us, oh yeah, you cannot own your house, we are no longer tenants. That variable need to also create the mass. For example, the governor-elect, I think I heard him say that, or somebody was saying that, something about he wants to declare a road emergency. To declare a road emergency is one thing. Who is going to build the road? As long as you have only the foreigners wanting to build our roads and we're not empowering our people to build excellently, why should Julius Berger, as a company, be the only one who can build great roads? Because you're lacking in standards. You're lacking in your legal framework. You're lacking in justice. Where you don't have justice, where I can arrest you for doing something wrong. Within the framework before the confab, there was something I learned that I didn't know about. I went for one of the constitutional review, and I learned something because I didn't do law, something that they said a non-justiciable. Meaning that if a governor does not do X, Y, and Z, he's not liable. Then again, do you have the conscience system where a man knows that history will judge him? Does he care enough whether history judges him? So the value issues at the bedrock of a society shows us who we are. And if we want change, it is a decision. Change is not an event. It is a decision.
Mrs. Benite, thank you so much. We'll take a break. When we come back from that break, we'll go to Abuja because we still have more to discuss.
That's right.
Press briefing by the Police Public Relations Officer, Kano State Command DSP Abdullah Haruna at the Bamfai Police Headquarters, Kano, today, Monday, 11th March 2019. Arrest of election result sheet snatchers. On the 11th March 2019, at about 0100 hours, one Murtala Sule, Commissioner for Local Government Kano State, and Lamin Sani, the Executive Chairman, Nasarawa Local Government Kano State, were arrested at Nasarawa Local Government Area Collation Center for 2019 gubernatorial and state assembly elections. They were alleged to have penetrated the collation center and attempted to destroy election result sheets. While His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Dr. Nasiru Yusuf Gauna, was rescued from the scene. Investigation into this ugly incident has commenced, and the command is assuring members of the public that whoever is involved will be investigated and, of course, charged to court. Members of the public are enjoined to remain calm as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is on the way to announce the election results. Furthermore, it is also observed that some political gladiators in the state commenced celebrations of election victory. The command is putting it clear to all and sundry that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, should be allowed to finish collating the results and declare authentic winners before any celebrations take place. This is to maintain peace and harmony and to do away with any incident of accident and breach of peace. Any person or persons that engage in such celebrations leading to breach of peace will be arrested and prosecuted as provided by the law. DSP Abdullah Haruna, Police Public Relations Officer for Commissioner of Police, Kano State.
DSP, I have one question that I want to ask you. Is it true that you have confirmed to BBC that you have arrested Kano State Deputy Governor in the course of what you just mentioned to us?
Nobody has confirmed that. The police in Kano State Command do not confirm this. And if you are saying that BBC confirmed that, it's misleading and misquoting and misrepresentation. And of course, as a security agencies, whose our duty is to enforce law and order, I think this issue we are going to get through it and investigate how this thing happened.
Now, you just said that you rescued the deputy governor from the scene. Can you tell us what was the deputy governor doing there and from who you rescued the deputy governor?
At the scene, these thugs penetrated there, as I told you, and they start attacking people inside. And the deputy governor was also there on visit, and security agencies rescued him from the scene. Those arrested were identified by the witnesses there, including the electoral officers.
All right, welcome back to the verdict here on Channel Television. There's a lot going on there. You just heard the public relations officer of the Kano State Command of the Nigerian Police denying that the Kano State Deputy Governor was ever arrested. He said, in fact, as a matter of fact, he was rescued from a security situation and not arrested, and that the police did not confirm that to anyone. We're keeping an eye on Kano, the collation center in Kano City. We're also keeping an eye on the collation center in Imo.
So we have two eyes.
So we have two eyes, and you may say they are crossed. We're looking at them. I know that I said we would come to you in Abuja, but I want to put you on pause because that numbers man is now ready. You know, we've had a running battle with numbers. So I'm not surprised that even Shehu too has now had a bit of a running battle with his own numbers. But I think finally he's ready. Shehu, hi.
Hi, guys. I know, good evening, Mr. Benite. I know you guys have been keeping vigil. We all have been keeping vigil. Oh, but if you look at this map, it's multicolored rainbow. That's what the Nigerian map is looking like. And it does tell us one thing, that our vigil may not be over. For those of us who know how to keep
Thanks a lot,
Mr. Benite was telling us
Thank you.
about how you can stay up late.
Yeah, 2 hours, 2 hours sleep.
Okay,
it's
so
we
might be, if you look at this, for example, this is what might keep us with this vigil. For example, if you look at the results, where the results are not out yet, it might give you an understanding of the ones that are not yet ready. So these are the states that are not yet ready. Kano, Yobe, Taraba, Kebbi, Imo, they're not ready. That we still expect. We keep our eyes on all of these states and make sure that when they are ready, we break the news and bring the results in. This for sure might be ready, maybe between today and tomorrow. They are not ready.
Or next tomorrow.
Or next tomorrow. But one thing that should give us some level of concern is this one right here, the inconclusive one. So this one will make us keep vigil more than necessary. Sokoto, Bauchi, Plateau, Benue, and Adamawa State. That might keep us away from our beds for a longer period of time. But guess what, guys? This is the one.
Hold on. It has to be within 21 days. That's what the law says, isn't it?
Based on what the law says, I understand my own version of the Constitution. I understand that I need to buy a newer version.
Okay.
That is the one that I had, you remember, Ijoma?
Yes, said
7 days.
Yes.
I guess one of your friends, Ijoma, really told you that, look, there is 21 days. So I guess
that means we'll be kept away from our bed for 21. I just want
you might not be kept away from your bed, but at least you have a cross eyes to keep your eyes on. So in that sense, this is one thing that should give us all some level of concern, and is this one right here. Here, River State. I've visited this state several times because of inconclusive or rerun elections or rescheduled elections. We might be having that kind of situation in River State because that is one state where elections have been suspended. We have such a colorful map this time around. The electoral map is very colorful thanks to some of the genius that we have in the house, Lekon Adeyemi, Antonio Ogunlade, in our technical department.
Yeah, because people were very worried about you and Red, so at least.
Guess what? At least,
even though there's still a dash. A dash, just so a dash.
Let us look at some of the figures and some of the issues that have cropped up, which are really getting interesting. So if you look at it for a moment, it will give you an understanding of some of the states that have been won and some of the states that have been lost. So in this election. So if you look at the red are the APC states, and the green are the PDP states. But basically gives you an understanding of how this will pan out. In the coming minutes, I will show you what we had in 2015 and what we're having now. Which of these political parties have been able to give a more pronounced performance in the election? But if you look at it, one thing that is very interesting, and maybe for a start, let me go to this state, for example. Where is Enugu State? Okay, I think I probably will go to, yeah. Okay, this is Abia State. So you can see the governor has retained his state of the PDP. If you look at Ebonyi State, is also Enugu. Okay, Enugu has retained his seat. But one thing that is very interesting in Enugu State is the difference between the runner-up and the winner. The difference is 439,000 between the winner and the runner-up. If you look at Cross River, it does look at the southeastern state of they're back to the status quo, the way it's always been. In Cross River State, Ayade is back as the governor-elect. In Delta State, Okowatu is back. This man right here, you remember him, is contested for the third or fourth time. Great Ogboru is a veteran in contesting for election, just like we have Muhammadu Buhari, who's contested for 5 times, won twice, lost 3 times. Now, the difference between that is massive. 709,336 votes that is between Ifeanyi Okowa and the runner-up in that race, Great Ogboru. Let's look at this one right here. You remember we were talking about those battleground states, those states that we needed to look at. Kwara State, for example. Look at what we have right here, everyone. Keep your eyes right here. So this Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, one of the newcomers in the race, having 331,000 to defeat the PDP's candidate Razak Katunwa with 114,000. Look at the votes there. And if you look at this right here, the registered number of voters is 1.4 million. The people who collected their permanent voter cards are 1.1 million. if you put these figures together, it will give you an understanding just what the voter turnout is. But look at this, 216,000 is what is the difference between these two people. There are more interesting figures, I tell you, that we will look at. Let's look at Borno State. That's another state that is gone back to the party that presently controls it. But this man here, Muhammad Al-Khali, but the difference is what I want to draw your attention to, Ladi. 1.1 million. That is an incredible figure to defeat your opponent. Let's look at what some of these will mean altogether. If you look at Oyo State, this is one that was lost from the stronghold of the APC. The incumbent governor lost a senatorial election, and now the party APC has lost also to the PDP. Now look at the difference: 157,609. That was an interesting race there, because it was one of those elections that we were looking at. After 3 local government, it was looking like who is going to win in that state.
So did you see it coming though, Oyo?
I would say it was a dicey one. It was almost something that was too difficult to call. But at the end of the day, I do think that there are a lot of factors that came in. When the governor lost the senatorial election, for any political strategist, we know that something is wrong. And you will see that the last minute calculation, don't forget, Alawa Akala queued up behind APC. You discover that some other former governor also queued up behind Seyi Makinde, who is now the governor-elect in Oyo State. Also, interesting thing that is happening. Bukola Saraki and the PDP in Kwara State had congratulated the APC, wished them well. In Oyo State, the APC also has congratulated the PDP and wishing them well. We see some kind of sportsmanship.
I think that's what
that's one good news, isn't it?
Well, the Cross River State governor calls it transbonding.
What?
That's what the Cross River State governor calls what you've just said, transbonding.
As in going beyond your party to reach across?
I mean, it may be a new vocabulary in our political science in Nigeria, but trust me, this is very interesting. This is a real-time figure. Anything that happens, it gets updated. Some of the links that we have to our website on channelstv.com. Kudos to Tonya Ogunlade and Lekan Adeyemi, all Channels Television staff who have put up this magnificent map that we can touch and get what is happening. You remember that we've always talked about Kaduna State, but look at what has happened. Malam Nasir El-Rufai has been able to return to office, but we understand that Mr. Ashiru is contesting the figures which came out of that election. Let's look at some things that might also interest you for a moment, and it's this one. Everyone, this is what it looked like 2015, post-2015, and how the parties controlled. Presently, this is how it looks like anyways, because not until the inauguration of those who have won and lost before we get the new face of this map. So we've seen where the PDP controlled before the 2015 election and where the APC controlled. So let's flip it now. I've given you a comparison of this. Guys, what do you think, and what do you make of what is happening? A lot, if you look at it, Kwara was being controlled by the PDP, is lost to the APC. Oyo was controlled by the APC, is lost to the PDP. Which other state is of significance right now?
The other ones are being contended.
They are being, yes, contested. So we'll see, it's still in transition, and we'll find out what happens. So these are the states where the elections are inconclusive. Some of the issues that will keep us up all night. These are the cases where elections have been suspended.
Well, even though Kano seem to have continued their own process.
We understand that now. So these are the talking points. Let's talk some politics for a moment, guys. Ladi, I know at some point I had predicted that Ladi will go into politics. Maybe we're seeing the next governor of where his state. So in Imo State, are you surprised that we are in sort of a stalemate? I'm seeing a situation where a winner may not be declared on the first ballot. I did say it, but it's looking like so. But when it's finally announced, we'll be able to get our heads around what is happening. What do you make of what is happening in Ijoma? You are from that part of the country.
Not really.
Imo State.
So I'm actually a mix, Abia and Rivers, but hey, it's fine. I'm Igbo all the way. But you know, when we look at the top 5, as you were saying the other time, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be nobody thought it would be easy there. So it's just playing out to what everybody expected. That's what I think.
But I looked at the top 5, like we said. These are former senators, some of them. Former member of the House of Representatives, the 2 former senators in the top 5. We have a former governor, Ikedio Hakim. We have the former chief of staff to the governor, the sitting governor. And all of these guys, I know, politically speaking, they will want to take 1 or 2 local government each, balkanize the vote. It's going to be difficult for you to eventually be able to say, you'll find the highest number of votes, but being able to constitutionally satisfy what the law has required to be a governor. That was my fear.
Do you think that's why we're seeing the disruption we're seeing? The amount of disruption that's going on?
Absolutely. So you see you holding on to the 2 local government or 3 local government, that is your stronghold. We see the other person holding on to the 3 local government, and the contest is very diverse.
Benitez said the Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
Yes, that's it. So for a moment, that will keep us with our breath. We're going to be breathing heavily, waiting for that to happen. In Kwara State, that's an upset. Political upset, isn't it? Because all of the House of Assembly seats, I understand, was won by that party. The senatorial seat by one party, the House of Representatives seat won by one party, and the governorship seat won by that party.
What does that say, especially considering the fact that Kwara State used to be seen as a political domain for a particular family, but now it's like that family is somewhat out of the political space.
Well, not the old member of the family. Don't forget
hold on.
That the sister, don't forget the sister to the former governor and the Senate president is on the other side. Is
now,
the
question now is,
so somehow
the family remains.
They're still
relevant.
Somehow.
So who now takes over the leadership, the political leadership of Kwara State?
It does look like someone like the Minister of Information.